Yeah. All right, yeah. Now we're live. Cool.
We're live.
Yes, Abby. Oh my
I'm,
goodness.
I'm so excited to be back. I can't believe I got the invite to be back, honestly.
Shut up. Can't believe you got the invite.
We had so much fun the first time, though. I'm not going to
Oh
lie.
yeah, we did. But I mean, we are definitely, friends. So like I love having people I fucks with on my shit. Especially like friends that predate, the podcast and all that stuff. So
Yeah, right. I knew you before we made it big. So,
oh, before I became big.
yeah, this is big time. Look at this.
Is
I don't
it?
want a live stream like this.
Yeah. It's gonna get bigger though, because I'm going to this whole thing is gonna get prettied up. It's gonna get prettied up for sure. So
Yeah, hey, it looks pretty good right now. So, hey, do you see what's behind me right here?
what is that? It's a
That
painting picture?
that is my New York Times article.
Shut the what? I didn't
That's
even know
what
you
I
had
got
one.
to.
Okay, so I gotta get like you and get
Exactly. Hey, don't worry. I was telling you about the new business I started. It's a publicity company, and we'll get you in the New York Times. It'll be great.
I'm here for it. I have really. I've been looking at like now that I finally recovered from, let's just say, a previous entanglement that took a lot of my money. Now I've been looking at different ways to spend my money towards marketing and really getting out there. So there may be something there. I'm just saying. I'm
Friends
interested.
helping friends.
There we go. Shit. So, tell us about the new addition to your household.
Yes, I have a new puppy. Her name is Pancake. Hopefully, she won't disturb us during this podcast. So, just apologies in advance if you hear a dog. It's Pancake. She's super cute. She's like 4 months old. She doesn't know any better. And we have no idea what kind of dog she is. I'm a terrible dog mom, and we have not done a dog DNA test yet. So,
Oh, okay. And those for everybody listening. Yes, this is the Men Like Us podcast. We're just kicking it, chilling while I share the show out and get some more people in here, share it out to some groups.
you share away.
Yeah, so we just want to get a little bit more of an audience here. We got some folks in here already, but it's a live audience is what makes this shit pop, because it's really crazy. Like people, some of these shows, like the comments are just, they come in so fast and furious, and I try to fit a bunch of people in, but it's just like sometimes I'm like a half hour behind on comments, and it's just like they don't even apply anymore, and I just have to give up and move to the newest ones.
Well, I'll see the comments too, so I can always give you a heads up and say, "Hey,
I want this question."
this person's."
So yeah, everybody listening, please have your dating questions at the ready, because we are definitely talking dating, and Abby, well, I will introduce her fully, but she's here to answer your questions. And I will provide my commentary, but I am by no means an expert. So I can't count myself among, that group. All right, one more. I'm sorry. It's going everywhere.
Keep sharing. I was going to say I should have given you my Facebook group to share it in. We should have had you join that. We'll have to do it next time.
Well, everybody who sees this right now should be sharing this live so we can build up the live audience. And I know I hate that I have to keep doing this, but we got to get some more folks up in her.
Can I share? Did you put it on Facebook? Can I share on there?
Yeah. I'll message it to you. Are we even friends on Facebook? Is this
not
even a thing? Oh yeah, we are. Okay, we're friends.
Of course, we're friends.
Friends on Facebook.
I am offended that you think that I wouldn't be friends with you on Facebook.
Well, you know me. I keep the coworkers away from my social media I keep all my coworkers away from social media until I leave, because then I don't have to worry about nobody snitching on me. So
no, you know what? We were friends on Facebook before.
Yeah, but you proven yourself not to be a snitch, so we're good. Like there's some folks I'm like, you ain't seen none of my shit.
Well,
I need you running and telling on Chris. Yeah. You were in the Inside Club, but everybody. Well, anyways, I'm gonna just start it. So again, welcome to the Men Like Us podcast. Today we are doing another episode with my friend Abby Rosenblum. Sorry, can't talk right now. This coffee kind of burned my tongue. But yeah, Abby is a professional matchmaker based in Denver. We are former co-workers. And we had a lot of good times together back in Denver, and a lot of late nights producing content for the YouTube channel and all of that stuff. She saw a side of Chris few rarely see and rarely tolerate.
I'm way too nice to you.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So, Abby, tell them some more about your business. Let everybody know who you are. So they know to listen.
Oh, yeah. So, I am a dating expert, as we said. You guys can see how much of an expert you really think I am. My company is the Social Modern Matchmaking. So it's all about helping single people find love through blind dates that I actually set up in real life and singles events that I host also in real life. So I'm super excited that the pandemic is mostly behind us and we can meet in the flesh, see each other, shake hands, hug, do that weird, hi, how are you, So yeah, that's my company. And yes, Chris, thank you so much for having me. And I'm excited to answer all of your questions, hopefully give some insight. And I also host the Ghosted podcast, which I'm sure I can plug at a later date. All that
now. Tell them.
Okay. So my podcast is the Ghosted Podcast, all about dating in a modern world. Very broad, but really the goal is to leave single people after you listen feeling like you're not alone, that you have a community to be able to talk about dating, the struggles, the frustrations, and, just feel like, hey, you know what? It's not just me who's not getting any matches on Hinge. It's everybody.
Yes. It's been a long time since I've used Hinged. I still go back to Tinder and Bumble once in a while.
Oh, okay.
And there's this other dating app called the Tammy app, and it's mostly an LGBTQ centered app. But for men who are seeking women in the trans community, it is really fucking good because it's the easiest app where you can just filter everybody else out. You can get only the girls that you want. And, it's an LGBTQ app where you won't be harassed by lots of gay men. Mm-hmm. It's really so fellas, ladies, I've had the most success on there finding relationship minded people. Cause a lot of these apps are it's hookup time. Exactly. And they're only looking for the hookups. But this Tammy app has been great in terms of finding people who were just actually interested in pairing up. Hmm. Now, I mean, was everybody on the app ready for that? Not completely, but whatever. It's a free country. That's a free internet.
At least they had the same intention. I mean, that's hard enough to find on any dating app.
Yeah, something. Now, I didn't make the mistake. I made that fatal mistake that guys make. I didn't read the profile on one, and that turned out. So this girl, I had matched with her. She lived here in Houston, and we were having a conversation. But some of the things she was saying some pretty toxic shit about men, and I was just like, "Yo, I ain't with this. Like, what the fuck?" And then she was saying, "Well, most guys want to get topped." Do you know what that means or no?
I think I know what it means, but Chris, educate me.
That means they want that means they want to get fucked, and by the trans woman, so they want to be top. The woman's the top. So
got it.
So she was saying that, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that isn't my experience. I have a whole group full of dudes, and most of them don't like that. And then, but then she was like, well, I mean, but you're talking to me, and I look on her profile, and it's like very clear as day that she's the top, and I shouldn't have fucking swiped right or matched with her, but I didn't read the profile.
Read the profile. I mean,
yes,
people put a lot of thought into those. Sometimes they really don't put any.
Oh, no profile. You get a left swipe from this dude.
Oh God. I mean, I spend probably a couple hours of my day reviewing people's dating app profiles and trying to make them better. And I see some shit. So I can only imagine the people who aren't coming to me asking for help, how awful their profiles are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh, we're getting some good comments.
I remember our other friend, our other Yenta friend. Remember, she was pitching a show at she was pitching a segment to like do people's like profiles, and she was like, nope, that picture sucks. That picture sucks. And she ain't afraid to speak her mind, so she was just like trying to reorganize my life, and I'm like, no, don't get my life.
You're like, this is not for you.
No, ma'am. No. I mean, she might have been on to something, but it's all good. Yeah. But all right. So again, everybody, Men Like Us podcast, please understand this is a zone where we are going to say the motherfucking truth as we see it. And we are going to be raw, real, unfiltered, all of that stuff. And, we're going to get into this shit. So, on the title you saw, we're talking about the biggest mistakes men and women make in dating, but we have a whole lot of other things to talk about too. That's just the first. So, you know what? This Yiddish stuff really. So when I moved to Denver, I'd never been in a workplace with so many people that were Jewish before. So then they really own their Jewish identity and they just start talking.
Did you say something Yiddish? Did I miss that?
I think I was talking about the Yentas and
oh yeah.
Okay. And they were just like, yeah. So it yes. So maybe you know that one. I can't.
I am Veshmult. I don't know that one. I don't know. I know some Yiddish words here and there. Yenta actually doesn't directly translate to Matchmaker. It actually means, if you translate it directly, it means gossip or busybody.
Yes.
So, pretty much the same thing, though. I know everybody's business. And
that's my mom. She's always trying to matchmake, put people together. It worked once, and she had one successful matchmaking, and she never lets it go. My Uncle Giles found my auntie. She was like, oh, I got a nice, good, woman for you, church woman for you. And then it worked out. Oh, but, she talks about that all the time still. It's crazy.
Wow. Okay. So I need to connect with your mom when I want to.
Once a Yenta finds success, it's a fucking problem. So.
Oh my gosh. Wait, there's some good comments. Should we read
them? Oh, the Shiksa. I'm looking for a Shiksa goddess. I'm sorry. All right. So Troy's like, dating apps suck. Sabrina saying it's a great site. Elizabeth, thanks for joining us. Deleted most dating apps. Tracy, I'm afraid of dating apps. And for good reason. A lot of women in the trans community, it's not pretty on there. It's a lot of dick pics and fetishes and all that shit. It's a problem. Tracy is Black German and was raised around a lot of Jews. So there you go.
Tracy, I want to hear some stories later.
Oh, yeah. Ich spreche Deutsch.
What about Ryan Roy? He says, how do you go about finding out how a woman identifies without offending her?
Oh, what do you mean? Like top bottom? And was that part of that? Really, what I would say a lot of times, whatever questions, whatever mysteries may be out there, it's gonna reveal itself in conversation at some point. Where somebody is at, sexually and all of that stuff, whether they're top, bottom, whatever, like eventually you're going to get to that point in conversation. I do like that these dating apps that are aimed at this community specifically provide space in the profile for like setting your weight, age, and height. Like it'll say top, bottom, verse, and that's usually in there for LGBT focused apps. So you usually don't have to ask. And if it's not listed in there, I would just assume that she's going to be a bottom because, I mean, I would say that's a safe assumption. But, I don't think there's any way I don't think there's just one way to ask without offending anybody. I just think, things have to come up in conversation. And, eventually you're going to start talking about what each other prefer for sex and all that stuff. And that's when you really like, okay, well, I am this. Are you and you kind of figure out things from there. So
Okay, I actually have a question kind of to follow up on this.
mm-hmm.
So, when I am working with couples mostly that are, I don't want to mess up my terminology, of men wanting to date women, women wanting to date men, I would think it would almost be a red flag to bring up your sexual preferences right away.
It would be.
Right? Or do you feel like
starting there is not, I would say starting there wouldn't be the best, but I would love for it to be like an off the top thing, just so it's kind of like what I was talking about with like a job interview. Let's talk about salary up front, because I don't want to get through all these niceties and then all of a sudden it doesn't match up.
Yeah, and then feel like I'm walking out. Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all have all these niceties. You're like, man, I really like this girl. We've been talking for a couple of days, a week, 2 weeks. And then we finally start talking about, sexual experience, preferences, all that kind of shit. And then, well, I'm not going to become a bottom. So and she only tops like that mismatches. And a lot of times on these LGBT apps, people do have that conversation up front as well. Like a lot of folks will ask up front, like, yo, are you this, are you that? But again, a lot of these apps provide space in the details to put that in. So that's great.
Well, I think that's so important, because that's an important filter to know.
Yeah, you would think. You would think.
So.
But I didn't read the fucking profile, so that's my fault. And we got other shit to talk about. We just bullshitting right now, y'all. I'm sorry. Let's get into the shit.
Oh yeah.
So let's just right off the rip, because you're the dating expert, and we're gonna start out with the men, and then we're gonna go to the women.
Okay.
So tell us some of the biggest mistakes you see men making in dating.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and I was brainstorming because there are a lot of mistakes that we all make because none of us know how to date. We all go into dating and think we do everything, but it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of experience. It's not like you just pick up the saxophone and start playing on day one. So, it's interesting to just think about it from the perspective. None of us are professionals, not even me. And I literally talk about dating all day, every day. So men, I think one of the biggest mistakes I see them make is not being an active listener. And I think this can go on both ends, but I do see this happen more with men than women, where, you're having a great conversation on the date, and maybe the woman spends a little more time talking than the man, and maybe he's not actively listening. And what I mean by that is not just like sitting there and zoning out and thinking about the football game that's on in an hour, but instead listening and kind of like just actively knowing what that person is saying. Chris, what are your thoughts? Have you been active listening this whole time?
Yeah, but because I'm the kind of person where I direct the conversation. So I'm asking the questions, and a lot of times I'm usually the one asking, digging, trying to get to know the person, and I'm rarely the one answering.
Interesting.
So most of the time I'm like, yo, so what do you like? What are you interested in? X, Y, and Z. Okay, you're interested in that. All right. So how do you feel about this? Are you this kind of person? This kind of person? And it just leads from one thing to the next. But I'm usually the one that's doing all of the question asking on dates and stuff like that. So, or just when we're video chatting, I'm just digging, because I know what I'm looking for. So I'm trying to make sure that some of these things that I'm not looking for aren't there. So these questions, it's casual conversation, but for a lot of people, they're just trying to figure out what's going on with you, like what kind of person you are, so I mean, it is the get to know your face. And this is when you opt in or opt out. Well, I don't think you're the right one for me, whatever. I'm just, I wish you luck. Thanks for your time, all that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I feel like it might also be the journalist in you.
Yeah.
You're used to it. So that's one. And then I think the second one for men that I have noticed, and this may be a bit controversial, is not being clear about their intentions and what they're looking for. And this is not all men, but this is just one I notice is a big one, where men are just like, you know what, I'll just kind of do whatever comes my way. But I think it is a mistake to not say, this is what I'm looking for. So then you actually attract that back in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we can move past that one. If you guys have thoughts on that, let us
Yeah,
know.
yeah. By all means, y'all keep the comments running. Keep the comments
And
coming in.
for women, it was actually easier for me to come up with the mistakes that women make. So I think one is writing people off too soon and not giving them a chance. So women and men are very different in that, women are looking for a red light. They're looking for something wrong. They're looking for you to kind of like make a mistake or, wear white socks with a suit. Whereas men are looking for the green light, looking for something to move forward, looking for all the good things. So we kind of come at it from a different perspective. And I think sometimes as women, and I have done this too as a woman, that I have written someone off too soon for something super silly. And I see a lot of my female clients do this, and I just want to slap them sometimes. I had a woman who wouldn't go out with a guy after she saw his house because he didn't have a nice dining table.
Mm-mm.
No, that was the thing. That was the deal breaker thing.
Oh, she played games.
Right. So, I mean, she had her own issues. Let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
Or, someone who I'm trying to think, like he didn't have nice shoes or he hesitated too much on the first date to pay the bill. There are just little things that, it's kind of like, let's just give this person a chance. And I really encourage everyone, unless there is some insane red flag or terrible thing or zero physical attraction, go on 3 dates with someone.
3.
Give them a chance. Well, unless you're like,
Okay.
I could never see myself with this person. I never want to see them naked. If you know that, then get out of there.
There was somebody I was dating. I went out. Well, I was really interested in this girl. We went out on 2 dates last year, and I did not ask her out on the third because I just saw so many signs that told her like, "Yo, you're not interested." Like we're sitting there, we're talking. You're looking. I'm here, and you're looking that way, and like you're not looking at me. Like the body language wasn't. It showed me that like, "Yo, you're not into this." And then what was funny was we actually talked probably like 5-6 months later, and we both experienced that night very differently.
That can happen.
We had the same fucking date, and the way we interpreted events it wasn't the same. And she was definitely interested. And, I was just like, oh, okay, well, I mean, because I'm totally fine with respecting a woman's wishes. If you are not interested, that's fine. I will move on. Not going to stay and pester you and none of that shit. But
yeah, please don't.
Yeah, it was just like, but it was really, we had a good laugh about it. And, she was not interested in long distance relationships. So she was just like, look, if you move to city XYZ, you're not going to say the city, but if you move to this city, if you lived in this city, like I would definitely give this a chance, but I just don't want to do long distance.
Yeah.
I'm like, fair enough. Can't be mad at that. A lot of people don't like long distance. I think more people should give it a chance, but I think I'm just saying, if you really, if you get that mental green light that you were just mentioning, like give it a shot, especially if they're domestic, like just take them. I mean, you'll see them once a month, maybe, like it'll be fine. I mean, you have a life, they have a life. It isn't like it's each spin off. I don't know. I have been in a lot of long distance relationships, which is, Sabrina was asking, how do you feel about long distance relationships?
I feel fine about them, but I think there are some different requirements, whether, when you're long distance versus in the same city. If you're long distance, your communication needs to be even better. You need to make sure that you set aside time to talk to that person, time to communicate with them and let them know how you're feeling. And also, hopefully have some kind of intention of seeing them in real life at some point. Because
let's see, Ryan. My main man, Ryan, appreciate you for joining us again, bro. So I'm talking about if trans attracted man sees an attractive woman at the grocery store and he wants to approach her, but he needs to know if she's trans or cis.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Wow.
I would approach her and
I
like
would just approach her
feel
as
it
a,
out and then exchange numbers and figure it out later?
I would just approach her as a woman, period. And a lot of women will eventually say, I'm trans, right? Like they'll be open about it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be in the first conversation, second or whatever, but eventually it's going to come out. And you can kind of feel things out in the conversations that people have when they talk about, my transition or this, and this, or, it does come out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Christy,
I would assume that it would come out on the first date. On the first date, I'm assuming it would come out, but the couple conversations you had before then, it may not, because the girl I dated in Denver, it didn't. I didn't know she was trans, and I didn't know until like the first date, and I was like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
I had no idea. Like,
And do you find that people will offer that information up more often than not, from your experience?
a lot of people just out of safety, because trans women are being killed
Yeah.
by men who are afraid of catching the label of being gay, and they don't they haven't dealt with themselves, and they're afraid of people finding out, so they will protect their secret by killing another human being that deserves to live. So
That's crazy.
that is a reality in this country right now, and it's really fucking sad that men have to resort to that just so that their manhood isn't invalidated. But it's like, how much manhood do you have if that's all it takes to invalidate your manhood? Like, it's just
like
stupid as
how
fuck.
insecure and awful of a human do you have to be
Exactly.
to do something like that?
Oh wait, Tracy, my oh my God, my first love had on dress shoes with tube socks. It was the cutest thing. I always ribbed him about it. I don't fret over minutia.
Yay,
Huh.
Tracy.
Okay.
See, and it all worked out.
Shim, I think you don't want to force something, because if you start something forced, it might end up with a foundation as strong as its components, not strong enough. Elizabeth, shout out Denver. Date I went on, guy told me he was surprised I picked him and gave him a chance. Then he ghosted me and deleted his dating profile on the apps. Told me he was interested in the second date, but that never materialized, of course. Ghosting.
Mixed signals.
Yeah, right? But but that's another like nuance in the space where it's just like, oh, because a lot of guys will say, oh, I want this. I want to date trans women. I want to do this. I'm interested. I'm into her. I'm into this. And then when they're confronted with the reality of the situation and how much they'll have to step up and the work they'll have to do and their journey that's in front of them, they shrink from it. They shrink from the challenge and run away. They say, actually, I'm not ready for this. See you. And don't contact me again, because I don't want anybody to know that I did this. And it's
honestly,
just like,
it's like that guy is doing you a favor, because he would have wasted your time anyway. And, it kind of is a sign to me, kind of from my matchmaking perspective, of someone who hasn't done the work on themselves, of kind of not knowing what you want, not knowing who you are, that you can't figure out what you want, and then you ghost.
And Sharon brings up a good point. She says, I feel like the dating scene for trans women is still too taboo, that it's quick to excite men and it's also quick to fizzle. And that's definitely a thing. Tracy, that's easy. I've always appreciated men when they say, I know what's going on here, just haven't heard that in years. Okay. Okay, so you went through the men and women.
Oh, wait, I have one other.
One more for the ladies. All right.
For the ladies, because we had to get two for each.
Two for each.
So the one was writing people off too soon. And then the other was wanting to fit someone into a box or fit them into a checklist of things. So, I know that a lot of women and men too have lists maybe on their phone of like all the things they're looking for in a partner. Chris, do you have one of these lists?
Yeah, I have the list.
Okay, we're gonna have to go over the list.
It's been shortened. I've been told how long my list is.
So maybe this one goes from both men and women.
Yeah.
That we kind of have these expectations. We're like, okay, someone has to be this and that and 50 other things. And if I don't get to check all these boxes, this person is done. which is hard because we have this like idealized person and we put that person
Mm-hmm.
so on a pedestal that
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like unrealistic to ever find that person. So, I think a list is good because it's good to know what you want, but don't try to fit someone into a box or into a list. We were talking about before we started, don't find someone who completes you, find someone who complements you. So throw the list out the window, you know what it is, and don't check the boxes.
It's been pared down a lot. Okay.
Good. I'm proud of you.
It was up there. I had a lot of things that I was asking for. At the time I found them to be very realistic, but also what changed was the waters I was swimming in. Honestly, I had this list that was already applying to cis women. And to be honest, it's just not the same switching over to trans women. Like, there are just having the same level of expectations just is not the best idea in the world. And there are some things that you just have to be okay with being existing. And or you have to be okay with some things not quite being there yet. So, I was always like, yeah, educated just like me, like career woman, this, and this. Well, not everybody's working that career woman life, doing that thing and, matching or somewhere close to my energy. And it's cool. Like, not a big deal for me because, to be honest, making more money makes you care a lot less about how much the other person is making. So that happened. That changed my life too. So
yeah, and I think it's good to have like your non-negotiables. Like
yes.
top 3 to 5 things. It's really good to have those.
That's what it is. I keep it short. I'm like, these are the few things that I will not budge on and I won't do.
Yeah.
Some of these are things that were added to the list and they're lessons that were learned. But, look, I say on the show all the time, the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same things and expecting different results.
A different result.
Yes. So we gotta change up. If you're doing shit that ain't working, if you're seeking out that same kind of person and it's all been shit, how's it about to change that shit up? Find a different type of guy. Find a different type of woman. Shop in different circles. If you are always going to the same spot to pick up people, or you're meeting all your people in the same place, change that shit. Do something different. That's
I also want to just throw this out there too, that if you keep dating and you're like, something's wrong, I'm not meeting the right people, and you keep thinking it's the other people, it may be you. Like, you may want to look at yourself. You may want to do a little self-love, a little self-reflection, kind of take a break from dating, because that could be a sign that you're kind of getting burnt out and just not putting your best self out there too.
Sorry. Let's see, Tracy. Well, actually, hold on. But Justin had something real quick. He said another part of the dating app scene is people report trans women. Like, so they're like, oh, well, she's not really a woman. And in the past, they've been getting kicked off of apps like Tinder and Bumble. I think that's changed a little bit, or they've become a less severe on that point. But that has definitely been a reality for a lot of women in community. Tracy, as a woman, I fit no one in a box. That is, I don't know why I can't read right now. That is what I've been trudging through to live in my own truth. I am looking for a good heart, fun, honesty, and loyalty.
There you go. Non-negotiables.
There you go. Long distance. I'm sorry, this is Sabrina, who asked about long distance relationships earlier. Long distance can be good for the fact that absence makes the heart grow stronger. Plus, when you spend time together with the right person, it's magical. And you're right, it can be. I have been in instances, though, where we spent too much time together. We went from 0 to too much. And I'm like, okay, we're living on top of each other. And I'm used to having my own space. So then, and actually that experience helped me understand that, like, an apartment is never going to be big enough for me. I need a man cave. So, like, I'm just one of those men where it's just like, I need a good, 30 minutes of just decompression time after work. If I get home after work, it may not be the right time to talk to me. Just let me grab a water, go downstairs and just sip and just watch. I don't really drink after work like that, but I hydrate up, grab some water, and just like, I don't know, watch a stupid show and just, decompress a little bit, then I'll be a perfectly, happy human being to talk to. But that's just me. I'm grumpy grizzly bear man. So,
you are, but it's okay.
Yeah,
We still love
you. Just what it is. So, but there's a reason why man caves are there. Some men need their own space.
I think every human needs their own space. If anything, in 2020, we all realize alone time can be nice. Or at least I did.
Shit, you ain't lying. Tracy Wademan, Chris, I am graduate level educated and have a great career that is often seen as a threat to trans attractive men. Well, mostly the ones who aren't on that level. That's just men in general, especially black ones, my dating pool. Well, a lot of times it really is. If a woman's let's just be real. If you're doing better in life than the guy that you're trying to talk to, there are a lot of men who are intimidated and are insecure. And that's a problem for them, that you have this high career, you're making more money than them, all of that stuff. Some guys don't know how to take that. But that is the way that the dating world is shaping to be, especially in the black community. More black women going to college than men, more men going to jail than women. Like, we're gonna have women making more money than men, and it's definitely trash. But those guys that are threatened by that, they have their own fucking problems that and deprogramming that they have to do, because society programs men to associate their ability to provide, like they're associating that with their manhood. So now I'm not a man if I can't provide for you. If I'm not the breadwinner, now I'm not really a man, and I feel devalued. I feel like a lesser of a man if I can't be the breadwinner. And we have to change the narrative with that we're putting in kids' heads, because they're raising people to be like this, and then they have to go out in the world and deprogram themselves so that they're actually suitable mates for somebody who might make more than them.
Well, again, I wonder, it kind of comes back to the hypergamy that we were talking about, where it's like men can date down, but women can't really date down. So as a woman who,
they can.
They can, but it's like a special man. So like as a woman who's, graduate level, great career, the pool of men who is, a level above you, just like socioeconomic status, socially, financially, it's a smaller pool. So
drastically smaller.
Yeah. And I find it a lot with like women I work with who are like never married, late 30s, early 40s. And like they're, badasses in their career. They're like started their own companies. Their dating pool is small.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of their issue, but
but
I'm just being real.
Yeah, it's still difficult.
No, it's their fucking issue. Yeah. Here's where it is woman, if you make more than that man, do whatever you can and not make that man feel bad, to not devalue him. Some women look at men with contempt when they make less than them. I'm not saying all the ladies out there. I'm just saying this is situations that are happening out there where men are now, the woman that they're with is looking at them like, oh, well, I settled, they're lesser because they're making less. And it's just like, you have to be okay with somebody making less than you. And, really still, I know this may sound crazy, but do you want a man or do you want to be alone? You might have to cater to that man and make him still feel like the man in the house. Like, I'm not saying that you bring him his shoes every morning and all that shit, but I'm saying, don't belittle him or demean him or any of that kind of stuff because he's not bringing in. Don't make him feel like he's a smaller partner member in the house because he's not bringing in as much money. So like, that's really what it is. You got to be okay with that. And if you're talking about on my level and this, so now so the man is beneath you now because really that's what you can't, I'm just trying to provide solutions for people to make shit work. So do you want a man or do you want to be alone? You want a man, you're going to have to bend and change how you look at this situation and change how you treat people, how you see the shit. Because I want a man that's above me and all this stuff. When you're already a high-end earner, good luck. Because those guys don't want you. They just don't. They're not. They're typically they're not going for you. They're just. I mean, I'm just saying it's. I'm not saying it's impossible. There are just things that are a little bit more improbable. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, it's just like an interesting dichotomy too, because, obviously like women are much more empowered now to do everything and anything, and it should have always been that way. But then it also kind of puts men in a weird place. Like I think someone wrote earlier, like how to approach a woman, in the grocery store. It's like, Chris, tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like more so now it's almost intimidating for men to approach a woman. Kind of.
I would never do that.
Really? Okay, tell me
why.
Not in a bar, not anywhere?
Yeah, in a bar, sure, because that's what we're there for.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry, ladies. If you go to a bar or a club and you don't want to be approached by men, go somewhere else. I'm sorry. Those are social settings.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, guys keep approaching me. I just want to dance with my girls. You can do that shit at home. Dance at home. Or go to a lesbian bar, do something, but you're there where the men are, and the men are coming there for you. That's how the club business works. Abby, I worked in a club. Like, that's how this shit works. You get the women in, the fellas will follow the ladies. But ain't none of that. I'm just dancing with my friend. No, ma'am.
Don't lie to yourself.
Stop. Let's stop playing. Why do people play games? Let's stop playing these games. Oh, but we got some questions here for you. I want to.
Yeah, we got a lot.
I know. Okay. All right. So Benjamin Button, what are good conversation starters?
Oh, I love the name too. What a good movie. Okay, good conversation starters. So compliment is always a good one, but not a creepy compliment, please. So not like nice ass, nice boobs. Just say like, hey, I love that necklace. I love your shirt. Compliment something that will always like light anyone up because they're like, oh, someone likes how I look. So that will give you an in, and then you can start a conversation. Even just saying like, hey, how's your night going? Like, who are you here with? If you're at a bar, if you're like Chris and you're, out partying at Temple.
Yes.
That was the club he used to work at, everyone. Oh.
In the VIP, kicking it.
Yeah. I think I went there once when you were working.
You did. I did. You did. Yeah. A lot of people from the job came out there at least once.
I was actually in Denver. Wait, this is a tangent. Maybe I'll just go here. In Denver, there's a club called Temple and there's a club called Church, which is so weird. And I was at Church last weekend, Chris. Dancing the night away.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. Anyway.
And they're one block away from each other.
Yeah, it's really weird. When you just start, like, next they'll have mosque. And then they'll have...
That place might not be standing long. I don't know if the Muslim community will put up with that.
Oh, God.
How dare ye?
Okay, let's not go down that road.
That's fine. Good conversation starter still.
Yeah. Okay, I wanted to mention a good conversation starter for online too, just because obviously that's a big way people meet is, if you're looking at someone's photos on a dating app or their bio, comment on something rather than just saying, hey, or hey, how are you? Or some corny pickup line because, sorry guys, you always are the ones who really have to initiate those things. I feel bad for you. But ladies get a lot of, hi, how are you? How's your day going? What's up? Yeah. So, comment on a photo and be like, whoa, like that picture is so cool. Where did you take that? Something like that.
Yeah. But that's why I swipe left on dating app profiles or dating apps with no profile. It's like, you're giving me nothing to work with. I got nothing to work with, ma'am. So I'm going to keep it moving. But, oh, well, you stream movies. You're into sci-fi. That's dope. So yeah, these are my favorite ones. What are your favorite? Yeah. Like, and I'll go from there. And before you know, we have a full fucking, screen full of text.
Exactly.
But it's, oh, damn, you're into comic book movies? That's dope. I'm into that shit too. Or, oh, you lived in Denver? I used to live in Denver too.
You can find, as humans, we can find common ground with pretty much anyone.
A lot of folks, yeah.
So try to find that common ground, find that person's passions, get them talking, active listen, you're good to go.
For sure. I mean, you know, yeah, there's just lots of ways to start conversation, even in person. It's wherever you're at, you know, first time here, how long you been, you know, where you from? You're from here, how long, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. But there's just lots of different ways you can take different things. All you need is a seed. Just got to drop the seed and you can just keep going.
But in person, compliment, always good way to go. I approach strangers all the time as a matchmaker because I just am always looking for cool single people. And I'll always say, hey, you know,
I've heard women complain about that shit though. It was this lady, she got a bunch of tattoos. She was like, oh yeah, guys try and come and compliment me on my tattoos all the time. And it's just like, oh, and I'm like, okay, that's bad that they choose it. All right.
I'm sorry. There's no one out there who doesn't like a compliment every once in a while.
That's true.
Like Chris,
I think a lot of times it's when you get it all the time, it's kind of not. It's devalued, I believe.
Then it doesn't feel as genuine.
Let's just be real.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of. No, I'm going there.
Oh shit!
It's exactly like sex with the genders. Women can get sex at every turn, but guys value that shit a lot more because we got to do a whole lot more work to get that sex. So people who don't get it as much, who have to do more work for it, value that shit. Somebody who can get it all the time, whatever. Sex ain't shit. There has to be more than just sex. And we're just like, just sex. You know how hard I work to get this? You know how many drinks I had to buy to get this? It's like, no, I'm just, but that is like the, you know, appreciate and don't appreciate because it's not special. There's nothing new about it. It's completely available.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of sad that people can get jaded by that. I wish that wasn't the case.
Oh, you're talking about the tattoo stuff?
Like just jaded by compliments. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Now that I feel like that is almost maybe someone who like has a hard time taking a compliment. I don't know. I've been there. It's kind of weird sometimes.
Well,
but...
you know what's funny is people do that shit until the right person comes along, and then it's like, oh, laughing and you know, like that one guy, and then all the barriers break down. Then they're the happiest. They go into hyper girl mode, and they're like the happiest, giddy, laughiest chick in the world, and it's just like, motherfuckers do change that shit up.
Mm-hmm. Just think the right person, then.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sorry, y'all. We are behind. We're behind. God, this is gonna go for a while. Like women, career. Leighton, what up? Says for me, the biggest mistake a potential date can make is to not fill out their profile. Yes.
Oh, the worst. That's like, let me just tell you right now, I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Or I'm just here for the hookup. That's what I assume. If you don't have if your profile is empty, oh, this is just a hookup app for you. And I might swipe right if that's what I'm looking for from you.
Yeah.
Kanisha, how do you handle being in a situation of being ghosted?
Very good question, because this happens all too often. You know, when someone ghosts you, you know, it kind of depends on the situation. If it's someone that you just met, that you barely know, maybe you've gone on 1 or 2 dates, I would just let it go. You know, it's their cowardly, insecure way of saying, I don't know how to tell you I'm not interested. So try not to take it personally. Unfortunately, rejection is part of dating. It makes us stronger. It makes us better daters. So try to take it in stride. There's plenty of people out there. And if it's someone that you've been talking to for a while, I actually have a crazy story. A friend of mine was dating this guy for months, like probably 3 to 4 months. Like that's a decent amount of time. They were exclusive. You know, they had the relationship titles, boyfriend, girlfriend, all the things. She just didn't hear from him for like a whole month. So she kind of still texted him, called him, like thought he was dead, wasn't sure what was going on. She found out because he posted on Instagram, he moved to Florida and just said nothing. That's the ultimate ghost.
Oh shit.
So yeah, if that's your situation, It's also another just strange way of someone saying, I'm not interested. So, if someone ghosts, I think it's okay to reach out again, see what happens. Maybe it was a fluke, but if they're really not answering, just say, okay, I'm moving on with my life. I'm not wasting my time with this person anymore.
Fair enough. And we're going to move on to the next,
oh my God,
topic that we have, which is, we're gonna skip one and just because we're super long on time right now. But
oh my God, we are.
Yeah. How, in your opinion, how will dating be different in the post-pandemic era?
I love this. I feel like, everyone's talking about this is now the roaring 20s all over again. I know everyone has used that analogy, but if you have been out at all since the pandemic, you know what I'm talking about. Like places are packed, people are drinking, people are partying, people are just like having a grand time. At least since I've been out, I went out actually in Austin. I was visiting and that place was insane. Everyone is just like, let me be free. Denver, same thing. I feel like so many cities, everyone is just open to new things and meeting new people. So if anything, I think this summer is just, honestly, I hate saying this because I'm a matchmaker. I think this summer is a really good time to be single. If you're on TikTok at all, like hot girl summer. It's definitely hot girl guy summer because everyone is living their best life, partying it up.
Hot girls that enjoy the hot girl summer is gonna be single come cuffing time, and they're gonna be saying, I gotta spend the holidays alone. Like, you had your hot girl summer.
Get it out of your system, meet a whole bunch of people this summer, and then when September rolls around, call me and I will set you up with some amazing people.
There you go.
And cuffing season doesn't have to be so chilly and lonely.
That's why I live in Texas. I'm doing that for
COVID. Oh, yeah. Texas, you're always hot, I think, there, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I think, post-pandemic, another interesting conversation I had with someone last weekend was that he felt like he could finally truly be himself. Like he had spent so much time before the pandemic feeling like he was just doing whatever other people did, just doing anything to fit in. And then when this guy got to spend some time alone by himself, he was like, you know what? I'm literally just going to do me, and it's not going to be what anyone else says I need to be. So I do think a lot more people are being super honest with themselves and what they want in life, which is really good for the dating world because hopefully that means less ghosting and more authenticity.
Maybe a question here from Brian. So, really, he's asking guys, but I want to get your thoughts on this to see what you think about this. So in general, what do you think about people moving to a different location in order to find more suitable dating partners? Like, and for a lot of guys who date trans women, it's just like, if you don't live in fucking New York, or if you don't live in like 5 cities, it's a little scarce. It's a little scarce. Like LA, Atlanta, Dallas, New York, maybe Chicago. Like there are some bigger cities that just have a lot of trans women there, but everywhere else where a lot of Americans live, there's not many options. So, what do you think about folks that are like, that want to just move somewhere just to get better dating options?
So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you have done like the work on yourself and you're like, I'm good, I know it's not me attracting the wrong kind of people. It's literally just that there's no one around here for me. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I even had a conversation with a woman the other day about this she lives in Denver. She's Jewish and she only wants to date another Jewish guy. And I said, okay, well, let's expand our search to New York. That's where most Jews live. There isn't a huge population here in Denver. So, if you're thinking of the trans community and where those people mostly are living, you're right, in bigger cities where obviously it's more accepting and there's a community there. There's nothing wrong with that. Or even making your dating apps. I know you can kind of pick a location and like swipe in other places. or also shameless matchmaker plug, maybe time to reach out to a matchmaker and say, hey, can you do a search for me? That's nationwide. I'm open to moving wherever. There are definitely a lot of matchmakers that work with the LGBTQ community. And I'm happy to connect anyone and everyone. Just send me a message after this.
Yeah, I mean, really, this community needs a matchmaker. Like nobody's like if one person build themselves as the matchmaker for this space, they would make so much fucking money because really there's a lot of people that are looking for relationships and like are actually like in the space for it. Not involved in anything that wouldn't be conducive to a relationship. Like they're ready right now.
Yeah.
And but it's just really hard because, each group is finding only the worst the other group has to offer. Because for a lot of guys, the women that they're looking for, a lot of these nice girls kind of like fall to the background where like there are some other people who are way more like visible that may not be the best suited for relationships or not even relationship minded. Just like a lot of guys who like these girls run into nonstop, like, they're not relationship minded and they're just like, and it's just like, okay, there's a little group of guys here and a little group of girls here. And they just like, they just kind of miss each other. They just end up hitting the worst that the other community has to offer. And it's just like nonstop complaints really from both sides.
Totally.
Do you know this Patty Stranger?
Patty Stanger. Yeah.
Stanger,
she's a millionaire matchmaker. I can't say I know her personally. But I do know the woman who actually runs her Millionaires Club, and she's pretty cool. Yeah.
Dope.
So I'm actually collaborating with her on a client I have in San Diego. But yes, I think Patty Stanger is as sassy and crazy as she seems on TV.
Fair enough. I am not aware of this person, but I guess I should.
You haven't watched
my horizons.
Millionaire Matchmaker, Chris? Oh my God, you got to watch it. It's entertaining, if anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So this one, now we're talking about first dates.
Okay.
So
we have some other questions. Do we? We're so over on time.
Well, we've ran out of them, really.
Oh, okay. You got them all then.
Yeah, we finished them all. So actually, I might need to amend this. Give me 1 second. Where's this at? Okay, so really, because we're not going to put a number on this.
Yeah.
Save. All right, moves for a guaranteed great first date.
I like it. So first of all, these are not like games or things to trick someone into falling in love with you. That is not my style. And I don't think that's Chris's style either.
No, that's not my style.
Okay, so things that you need to do to have a great first date. A is don't put so much pressure on yourself. I almost think don't even call it a first date if that seems like too much. Call it a meet and greet. Call it a meeting. Call it a looky-loo. I don't know. Call it something that takes the pressure off. Because purely all you're doing is going to meet another human being, find out something about them, and see if you want to find out more about them. So, the things that I want people to keep in mind always are the 3 C's. So after the date, ask yourself, am I comfortable with this person? Am I curious to get to know them more? And are they cute, hot, whatever, sexy, whatever adjective you want to use there? And if you can answer yes to all those things, move past go to the second date and continue getting to know this person. Other things you should keep in mind for a great first date. I always tell people to set an intention, which I know sounds a little weird, kind of goes into like being mindful and all of that. And maybe it is something like just to view this as a meet and greet. Maybe it is to go to a new restaurant. Maybe it is to make someone laugh. If you're a funny person, if you're not a funny person, don't make that your intention. Make it something simple where you can walk away from that date and you can say, I accomplished what I wanted to do and it was a success, regardless of kind of whether or not this person is your true love. There's also another thing I want to note that do not look for sparks on a first date. That is one of the potentially largest red flags that you can have. So if you go on that first date and, oh no, we lost Chris. Well, we're still live. So I guess I'll keep going until he comes back. So if you go on that first date and there are sparks, that can actually mean that you guys are, kind of hitting on some past issues, past traumas, and just kind of take a note of that and maybe kind of see where it goes. It's better to have that slow burn. Chris is back.
See,
You
sorry.
good?
I don't know. The Wi-Fi crapped out here. I just got on my hotspot.
Oh, okay. Well, you're good now. We missed you. I was just talking about
keep
how
going.
sparks.
Keep going.
Yeah, so I was just talking about how sparks are a no-no on a date. We want the slow burn. But sparks are exciting, so you get sucked in. You may give someone more chances than you're actually meaning to. So slow burn, intentions, and then keeping an open mind. So it comes back to what we're talking about of not writing someone off for small things, and just kind of seeing where it goes. You never know. And there's nothing wrong with a first date turning into friendship, turning into romance, turning into a business relationship. If you look at it as just meeting new, awesome people, dating will be a lot more fun. Uh-oh, did we lose Chris again? Okay, this comment is, what does Abby, me, think about men who feel pessimistic about
and you know what? That's
relationships?
the answer to this right here.
Oh, Chris, are you back?
Yeah, go. Keep reading, go.
Okay. Okay, so what do I think about men who feel pessimistic about relationships because women have too many options thanks to social media, high divorce rates, and the popularity of Tinder and hookup culture? So I think it's really hard if you are coming from that place of feeling pessimistic, of feeling, of scarcity, like there aren't enough women or men out there for you. And I think that really is a sign to say, take a break from dating. That this is probably not a good time for you to date. If you're feeling super negative, super pessimistic, you're probably not going to be attracting back what you want. You're probably going to be attracting back other people who also feel the same way. So that's when I would kind of say, hey, hit the pause button, do some self-reflection. I have some really awesome books that I can recommend for you to kind of read and reflect. Or if you even feel like maybe you want to talk to a dating coach or a therapist, I think that's also an amazing place to go to just get some insight and, kind of change your mindset about dating and everything. Oh, we lost Chris again. I guess this is the Abby show. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Sabrina says, if after getting to know a guy and you fall in love, Chris is back again.
Yeah. No, just keep going. You got it.
I'm so sorry. I'm hosting your show now. I don't want to host your show.
Hey, you're the expert.
Okay, we'll do this other question. Okay, so Sabrina's asking, if after getting to know a guy and you fall in love, should you keep that to yourself? Ooh, this is an interesting one of kind of when to bring that up, because it is very vulnerable to say, I love you. I completely understand that feeling of, I've always been so nervous to say I love you first. But usually if you're feeling that, the other person likely is too. And it's a very hard place to come from to be vulnerable. But when you are vulnerable, it will open the door for your partner to also be vulnerable and share how they're feeling. So if it's like a few days in, I probably would wait a little bit. That might be a little soon to say I love you. But if it's like a month or two in and you're really feeling it, share how you feel and, see where it goes.
Wait, are you saying a month or two in is like the right time to say the O word?
Well, it completely depends on the relationship. I have seen people do it a month or two in. It's fast, but I will say if you're spending a ton of time together,
yeah,
let's say you're going maybe on like 2 dates a week for a couple months, that could totally happen.
Lots of sleepovers.
Right? So,
all right, fair enough.
Yeah, it depends on the pace of your relationship. It depends on the person. I know I'm someone who takes a lot longer to say I love you. And that's just kind of how I am because I'm have my walls up around certain things. So, just kind of feeling out maybe where that other person is too. And then you'll kind of be able to see, is this going to be terrifying to say I love you because it won't be reciprocated? We're all afraid of that for sure. So take your time. There's no rush.
Yeah. Definitely a lot. I can definitely concur. There is a fear in that, but I mean, when you unleash that, a lot of times you kind of have a good feeling about where you're at. I'm sorry, am I breaking up or no?
No, you're good. I think maybe there's a little delay though.
Gotcha. Well, we'll move on to the next one then.
Okay.
Hi.
Why so many men struggle to flirt and end up in the friend zone. Chris, you had a lot of good things to say about this. So this can't just be me. But I think this kind of goes back to, a little bit of the kind of dichotomy of the masculine energy and the feminine energy, and more women having more masculine energy because we're more successful and all those things. So it's more difficult for a guy to approach a woman and to flirt. And the friend zone is a tough place to be. Chris, you said you made it out of the friend zone once, and I think we should share that story.
What? No.
If you want. No, we're not sharing it. Okay.
Nah, I didn't say I made it out the friend zone.
You kind of did, though, I thought. Or you friend zoned someone and then.
Yeah. The girl made it out the friend zone.
Which is interesting. Yeah.
I know. Persistent little personer. So yeah, I'm not gonna tell the whole story. I'm sorry. We're not gonna do this.
Tell the story. Yeah, we won't.
Well, look, I'm gonna just say it like this. I had some. First off, let's define what the friend zone is, because I think we kind of have two different definitions.
Okay, so I think the friend zone is truly just friendship, two people being friends, not having sex, not doing anything beyond friends. But Chris seems to think a little differently.
Well, no, I think that's how a lot of women define the friend zone. But for a lot of guys, for men, a lot of times the friend zone does include relationships with and without sex. Because to me, the friend zone is just an arrested state of the friendship, where you set boundaries like, okay, the friendship's not moving past this point. Not getting past this microphone. We're going to keep it right here because I don't want to progress any further. But for a lot of guys, that arrested development can still include sex, and friends with benefits can stay. He can do sex without any promise of relationship. Like, he may offer you the sex, and it's just that.
But I feel like that's not the friend zone if you're having sex.
But I see friendship. I see friend zone as an arrested state of the relationship. Like, we're stopping. It's growing, and we're here. We're not going past here. We're done. This is it. It's just for a lot of women, the ones that y'all want to offer is platonic, but the ones that men are willing to offer is, yeah, we'll probably have sex once in a while, but this is not going to grow into a relationship, because friend zone is not a place. That's not a permanent place to be. Like, how many men have you friend zoned that you're still friends with like a year later?
None.
That don't want to fuck you. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Let's not play games, people. We are all too fucking grown to be lying and not telling the whole truth. You know what you're doing. You know where he's going to be at. Yeah. Friend zone is a guy you don't want to fuck. All right, I don't want to fuck him. He's a friend zone. I ain't doing nothing with him. He's just be my friend, and maybe I'll use you once in a while, and eventually you'll fall off. Like, they're not gonna be at your wedding. They're not gonna be best friends forever and shit. Like, come on, ain't your real friend. It's friend zone. Like, all right, that's an acquaintance. It's more like an acquaintance zone. That's your acquaintance. That's somebody you know. Yeah, that's my dude, such and such. He's cool. I know him. Friend? No, I'm not gonna call this dude at 4 a.m. If I need somebody to talk to and I'm hurt, I'm gonna call the dude that actually like to, for that, or one of my girls. Like, come on. You might call him if your tire is flat at 4 a.m. That friend zone dude, might bring some simp energy and be like, oh yeah, I'll do anything for you. Hopefully this
Oh.
will get me to sex land. Who knows? There's guys like that. There's dudes like that. But this whole friend, it's what is the friend zone? I don't know. And I'm just saying, like, there are men that are comfortable with relationships being arrested at that state and not developing past that, and they won't really be long term. It's like, yeah, we're gonna do this until we're tired of it, and then we're done.
Well, I think too, it's like if you're in the friend zone, I mean, and these poor guys are like holding out hope that they're gonna get out of it. Well, and women too. It's like, you're probably not.
And really, I would just say, if somebody's going in the friend zone, just be clear. Like, look, I'm not interested in relationship. Like, this is not going to work between us. Like, I'm not going there. I get, like, some people want to maybe hang around and just like, oh, well, maybe we'll see. I don't know if this is going to, like, I kind of want to see what else is going on with this person, but I don't want to have sex with this person, or I don't want to do this, and that. I just want to continue talking to see if I end up liking this person more than I thought I could.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm cool with that, but I don't know. You're the expert. I'm just mouthing off as some, loudmouth dude. Because
you're also the expert because you have your own podcast. So we should pull up Elizabeth's comment. Should you date friends?
Should you date friends?
I like this question.
Did you say he's just a friend?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough one because if it doesn't work out, then you risk losing that friendship potentially. So if you're considering dating a friend, and I have done this once and it actually turned out okay, we're still friends, have a conversation about it. Like, hey, what are we going to do? What does this mean that we are more than friends? Are we still going to be friends after? Are we going to try to be friends, or are we just going to kind of like see where this goes? And I know that's kind of like a lot to talk about, but if this person's already your friend, you're probably already pretty comfortable talking to them, sharing things with them. Sometimes your friends would be like your best partner because they already know you really well. It's really easy to kind of like be around them because you've already been around them. So just kind of weigh that in your mind of like, okay, is it worth doing this, of like potentially losing them as a friend in the end? And if you want to take that risk, I say do it. Chris, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna live in reality and ask the question. I mean, are y'all really friends? If you want, like that, there's always that question. Okay, that age-old question of can men and women be friends?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen that video where they're like, oh, is this your friend? Would you have sex with her if she gave you the chance? It's 9 times out of 10. The dude's like, yeah, I would. And at that point, like, I don't know. Is this really friendship? Is this?
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's where I'm like, is this person really your friend, or is this somebody that's just waiting around until they get a chance to fuck you?
Yeah, it is like, I mean, that's definitely something I think that crosses everyone's mind at some point in a friendship with opposite genders.
I mean, I have been in a friendship with somebody that I wanted to, I'm not going to lie. I was in a friendship with somebody that I was definitely interested in. And but all it ended up being was just us connecting. We connected, but the relationship was always off the table, even though we connected and shared a lot of our innermost thoughts, and we were going through shit. We would kind of emotion dump on each other a little bit, and like it was a really great, dope relationship. And that was somebody like I really counted in my inner circle, but there was still always that specter of, dang, well, if this girl gave me a shot, like I blow all this shit up. And she knew that. She knew that was there. We both just try to use the higher brain functions to realize that like we were just better off as friends than going into it and all that shit. But I'm just saying, I don't know. It's like this whole men women friends thing. It's like it can happen. it's just rare, and you got to really kind of vet out like, yo, is this person here for this? Are they looking at me like this? Or, there's just, I don't know. I don't like people being naive. I just like people knowing what the fuck is going on. And I like people being transparent. So that's why I just call the shit out. I'm like, is that really your friend? Like, these are things I would say to my sisters.
Yeah. And I think too, it kind of will also come to light when you get into a relationship. And, if, that partner feels like that relationship isn't great for your your romantic relationship, or if they're threatened by that person, then maybe they're picking up on something that you weren't noticing before.
Oh yeah, game recognized game. Game recognized game like a motherfucker. Because I was in a relationship and she was like, yo, these girls is coming at you. They in your inbox, this and this. You don't need to be talking to that girl. And I don't like this one. And the week I broke up with that girl, guess who was at my apartment? Those girls. Like, they showed up in full force. Like, yo.
Right.
And I was like, oh, they're harmless. I can keep them at bay. I ain't even looking at them. And I wasn't until I was available. And then I was like, oh, okay, sure. But it was just like game recognized game. Men know when another dude is trying to push up on his girl, or he's just waiting for his opportunity. And I'm like, cancel that friend, cancel that nigga. He just waiting around. Like, I know what it is. Women know what it is. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, if that friend is some chick that's looking at your man in a certain way, she's looking at him like, dang, he's a really good dude. And that's a really good man. I admire, with those eyes of admiration. You know what time it is.
We all know, but we like to live in La La Land. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just nuts. I'm sorry, catch up. I'm sorry, Tracy disagrees with me. Friend zone equals platonic relationships only.
Yeah, I agree, Tracy. I agree.
I mean, that's your definition of it.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that there are men out there that will include sex and like, oh yeah, well, we're just friends. Yeah, but we just had sex the other night. Yeah, but we're just friends. We're not in a relationship. We're just friends.
Mm-hmm.
And you're taking a whole different meaning from the act of sex, than what he was given. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's just, these things happen.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on having sex and still being in the friend zone.
Yep, and that's cool. All right, Ryan Roy. Some of these girls seem offended and angry when I did not initiate interactions when they were trying to make eye contact or sit near me in the dining hall. Shout out to college. How do you tell girls that I'm okay for now? I mean, pretty much that I'm okay for now.
Yeah, I mean, be honest and just be like, hey, I'm not really looking for anything, maybe beyond friendship, maybe friend zone them, but also have sex with them like Chris does.
Look, how people take rejection is not your problem.
Exactly.
Like, don't feel bad about that shit when they get mad at you and you didn't do anything wrong. You were clear and honest.
Yeah.
You were a good person in this instance.
It's better to be upfront and tell them, hey, I'm not really looking for anything. And instead of going along with it and then rejecting them later, once they've, developed feelings for you.
Boys are not usually taught that girls never directly communicate interest. Most men don't know how to read choosing signals. And then men don't know how to react, how to accept or reject those signals.
I would say if someone is not being direct, just ask. Because I think we do kind of think we have to just like mind read or just like know what someone wants or likes or is interested in. But no one can mind read. These signals, none of us can. So, Ryan, it is not just you. Just ask. Just be like, hey.
I am oblivious a lot.
I mean, I don't think any of us, we can read body language, we could maybe read into things a lot, but a lot of the times you're reading into things wrong. I do it all the time. So just ask is the best policy.
Just be direct, everybody. Everybody just be honest and transparent and, people will match up. I don't know, but I just, when women is giving me signs and showing interest and all this other stuff and whatever, I don't know, whatever the fuck they're doing, like, or actually when I'm getting signs like they're disinterested as well, like interested or disinterested, like all that shit right over my head. When we're talking and we're having a conversation, like, you know, maybe she might give a look here or whatever else, like that she might be annoyed. Or I did an Instagram live last year with this girl, and I was like, yo, we're vibing, we're having these great dope conversation, you know, and it was one of my first ones. It's kind of like a personality for my podcast thing. And my sister was just like, dude, how are you not reading these signals? And I picked up on none of them. Like, I didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't know any of that. Like, really?
This is why you have sisters. So
yeah, facts. Sabrina says that's called a fuck buddy.
Yes, Sabrina. Thank you.
Tomato. No, look, I have friend zone women that I don't want to have sex with. Yes, that happens. I'm just saying that there are people out there that consider it different.
It's
all right. Okay. How would she advise married women being with single men or being around single men? Is that it?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. As a almost married woman myself, I have been in this situation. And I always take it, you know, if your partner is uncomfortable with a certain situation, don't do it. Unless you don't really like your partner, then do whatever you want. But, you know, if you respect your partner and, you know, want them to feel loved and appreciated, just run it by them. Just ask them. Always, hey, just ask. I feel like that should be our tagline for today. You know, because you may do something and then later they're like, well, why the hell were you out with 10, you know, single dudes? You know, probably just a good thing to ask, run it by them, invite them along, you know, something like that.
There we go. I don't kiss my friends. The end.
Yes, Tracy. See,
that's fine. That's your friend. That's fine. That's from your end. You friends on the guy. That's fine.
Oh my God.
All right. Diara, men crave sex, women crave intimacy. Sex only lasts a short time, but intimacy can linger much longer. Yeah, correct. No lies were told there.
Just facts.
Yeah, just straight facts. Michaela, well, how would the married woman feel if the husband having single friends?
I think it's the same conversation. You know, if it makes anyone feel uncomfortable, don't do it. Because it's not worth jeopardizing your partnership to go out with a bunch of single people.
Yeah. Oh, so no hot girl summer for the married girls. Okay.
Oh, I'm living my hot girl summer, Chris. I was just in Mexico for like 6 days.
Oh, yeah, right. Facts. Facts. Okay. Let's see here. Tracy, I always miss cues. Join the club.
Yeah, it's tough, Tracy.
Speaking to being direct, are either of you familiar with ARC's Al Roger Curie Mode 1 approach? No. It's when you almost immediately make your intentions known, even if it's only sexual. I mean, yeah. I just say honesty is the best policy. I don't know how, I'm not going to say how you display that honesty or whatever else, but being clear about your intentions is something I've always preached on this podcast to men, because there are a lot of guys that will show up and promise a whole new life and a whole new world to a lot of women in this community when all they wanted was just sex. Just say, yo, I'm just here for the sex. Is that what we doing or not? Like, and keep it moving. But
if not, move along.
Go find somebody that be into that. But there's just a lot of folks who are being lied to and misdirected and hurt because people aren't being honest about what they are here for.
Yes, honesty is always the best.
I've had to tell somebody, yeah, look, I'm here for, and the with you is always silent. I'm here for sex with you, not relationship. Like,
yeah,
this is a specific thing to each person. You categorize people and you're down for things with each different person. So one person you may be interested with sex and no relationship, and another person you're like, God damn it, I want to marry you tomorrow. Like, or another person like, dang, I see a lot of good in you. This bears further investigation. I would like to talk to you and learn more about you. Like, this is where I'm at. This is what I want to do. And like, just be honest about your intentions. But that, I don't know, that's what I've always told the guys on this podcast. Just be honest, because when men start being dishonest, they hurt the community. Huh?
I agree with that. Be honest about your intentions, always.
Yes. And because I mean, that dishonesty hurts the community. And when you start hurting the community, that's when you and me are not cool anymore. So be honest.
Don't mess with Chris.
For sure. Michaela, I'm sorry. I meant, how would she advise a married woman to be friends with single men? That was a question. I find some single men, not all, still push on me, and I have to end those friendships.
Yeah, that's again, I think with honesty, but also bringing in setting boundaries, another great thing. Where, if one of those single guys tries to pursue something greater, be like, hey, I'm married. I value our friendship. If you don't, let's go our separate ways. But I think really setting those boundaries and like, this is just friends and not Chris's definition of friends. But my definition of friends.
Oh my gosh.
And you can also kind of feel out, if that person can't respect your boundary, they also may not be the best friend. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, they weren't your friend to begin with. They just wanted to fuck.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Probably good to know. What else? Michaela has.
Why does the expert think so many people go into relationships lying about who they really are?
Oh, I mean, this could be a whole number of reasons. I think not being happy with who you are is probably the number one thing. I mean, even if it's just as simple as like people lying about their age, it's like, why are you not content with yourself? What kind of work do you need to do on you? Maybe through coaching, through therapy, through just writing in a journal to figure out, what is going on with me? So, I hate when people lie about who they really are. Obviously, we all hate it. But if you see that, please get the fuck out. That's not going to end well.
Shit, you ain't lying.
Yeah.
Been there. As a matchmaker, how are you able to weed out men who are only looking for sexual encounters? In the trans community, it's abundant.
Yeah. So the good thing about matchmaking and my process and many of my colleagues' processes is that people really have to be committed to finding their person to even make it through to a date. I know I do an hour and a half interview with everyone who even wants to go on a date. I then do a background check. I have them do personality tests. And they really got to make it through all those things and be committed and show their commitment to doing this. If it takes them a really long time to do all this stuff, that's kind of a red flag in my mind. And the people who are like, I'm ready, I'm excited, I know what I'm looking for. I definitely turn a lot of people away too, who aren't ready or who are just looking for something casual. Because, everyone that I work with and, most matchmakers, we don't really just set up hookups because the apps are much easier and cheaper for that. So we'll make sure people are looking for a serious relationship, ready for it, and are just kind of stable in life. I think is also a really good quality that most people are looking for, probably has a job or is financially stable, has some kind of dreams, goals in life that get them excited. So you have something to talk about on your date.
And that's really why I like, the idea of a matchmaker focusing on this community, because it would really weed out a lot of people that aren't really in the right space to be looking for that one. Mm-hmm. And it would weed out a lot of the people that are just here for bullshit. Guys and girls, guys that aren't serious, that are just want to fucking play games, and also women that aren't serious and that just, want something to do until they meet that rich guy or whatever the other guy. I'm not gonna say he has to be rich, but till they meet somebody else. But it's just like there is a big segment of this community that really wants to find connection and find that one. But there's nobody around to bring them together.
So I was going to say there is a growing group of matchmakers that I think would be so happy to work with this community. So, if you are interested in matchmaking, I'm sure Chris will have my info to contact me, and I will connect you with the right person in your city, or just the right person that kind of fits your vibe and approach too. Because I'd love to help you guys out. Oh my God. So what's your Men Like Us podcast discount for your services? Oh my God.
The promo code is Chris is always right.
Oh my God. Yeah, always right. Exactly.
Chris is awesome. That's the promo code.
Yeah. I also will talk to anyone and everyone for free so that I can make sure you end up with the right matchmaker. Maybe it's me, maybe it's someone else. We'll figure it out. And I think matchmaking is something that feels inaccessible to a lot of people, but, there's really probably a matchmaker in almost every, if not multiple, in every major city. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michaela has a trans-related question. So many trans women have dysphoria about who they are and the bodies they were born with. How would you advise men who date trans women to deal with women who hate their body parts? So
this is a great question.
So somebody that's drastically unhappy with their body.
And that's really hard because I think, there are so many people that are unhappy with your body, but in this community, I can only imagine, because, it's completely different experience, obviously. So, I think for men, and Chris, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think to, make sure that you are supportive of your person, tell them they're beautiful, give them compliments, give them words of affirmation, give them all the love languages that they, want in their life. And I think that will help with a lot of it too. Just build confidence and, feel better in your own body.
Yeah, no. And I think, when it comes to the dysphoric episodes, guys have to be ready to support their partner and, support them through, these episodes because they will come. And that's just a part of dating women in the trans community. It's just going to happen. And we have to be ready for it. We have to be ready to support them through it. And, so it's definitely a piece of the puzzle, but.
Yeah. And relationships are work too. So, what you're signing up for being with a person is not just smooth sailing and easy forever. So, be ready to put in the hard work. And
I mean, that's that shit right there. There's a lot of people that want shit without wanting to put the work in.
It's work. Oh my God. It's constant work.
You got to be ready to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
So Trell is saying he's just looking to hook up right now. That's it. Tracy, you are absolutely hilarious. The promo code is not going to be everybody hates Chris. That's coffee.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody hates Chris. Well, that was a good one.
Oh my gosh.
Wait. So Elizabeth says, guys have expectations. We're all built like porn stars and models. Do you run into guys with who come to you saying, yeah, so she's got to look like this. I want an 8, 9, 10. I don't want anything under an 8. She's got to be a legit 8 or a legit whatever. Do guys come to you talking like that?
I have had a few where they literally specify how much someone should weigh, what their dress size should be, everything. And I am like, goodbye. Thank you for coming. I am not working with you. As a matchmaker, I do have the ability to pick and choose the most awesome people that I'm going to work with. And that is just ridiculous. And then you're going to expect, are you going to hold yourself to those same standards? Are you going to be a size whatever for the rest of your life and never change? It's just it's a red flag to me when people are so focused on the physical. Obviously, you need attraction. You want to have sex with this person.
Yes.
That needs to happen to have a relationship with them. But thinking that everyone is going to fit a certain weight and body type and exact thing it's ridiculous. Good luck to those people. Seriously.
How do you handle female clients that come to you saying that this guy has
Oh,
to be 6 feet?
same thing. I turn them away too.
Really? The 6 feet girls?
Well, so if someone's just like, oh, they have to be 6 feet or taller, I'm like, really? I'm like, you're 5'2". Really? Like, we need to save these tall guys for the taller girls. Come on.
Well,
So, someone who is really, say, in the same way, a woman
oh,
who's
what about weight with guys? If they say I don't want fat guys. Like no fat guys. He's got to be in shape. Got to have a 6-pack. Whatever. Whatever. Just not fat.
Yeah, that would be red flaggy to me. And I would say, is it important to you? Like I'm in Colorado, is it important to you like that maybe someone is active? That's okay for you to say. Like
Now,
maybe
see,
someone,
you didn't automatically show these girls the door. I'm noticing this. We're asking questions to figure out a way for them to get in and still not want fat guys, but the guys
so
who don't want fat girls. Get the fuck
here's
out of
one
here.
thing I will
Fuck
say.
out of here.
Women are different. So
Okay.
as men need physical attraction on that first date.
Yeah.
Women don't necessarily. If someone has a really good personality, they seem really awesome, they make us laugh, we feel comfortable around them, we're still going to give them another chance. I have dated people where my friends are like, oh my God, Abby, really? And then I've dated people where my friends are like, oh my God, he's a model. So it's, women can kind of be more flexible on that. So I will push women more, but I know men cannot be as
Well,
flexible.
so they've been amenable to your pushes for being flexible,
Some are, but yes, if women are like, no,
but
he
a
has
lot
to be
aren't.
Ryan Gosling, then I say, okay, yes, here's the door. Goodbye.
Okay, so now there is a way to be shown the door if you are a lady seeking the. Okay.
Women have their own issues that make me want to show them the door besides physical attraction.
Well, we were talking about the fiscal thing before, and I had a buddy. He was in Minneapolis, and this woman she was making allegedly making $45,000 a year, and she was like, if the guy doesn't make twice as much as me, I won't date him.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, what? So he has to make 90,000 or above to date you. And, she just dismissed him because he wasn't making 90,000. And, it was just like, this is the dating world that we live in where it's just like, it's kind of ridiculous, but.
Well, and I would ask like, well, why does he have to make 90,000? Like, what does that mean to you? Does that mean stability? Does that mean you can be a stay-at-home mom? Does that mean, like, what do you really want? Would be my question.
I think people are very when people come with the stay-at-home mom thing, it's like you just don't know how much it costs to raise a family. It's like this dude's gonna have to make like 300,000.
A lot more than 90 grand a year, unless you're living in like middle of nowhere, Idaho.
And even then, you'll have to cut back a little bit. Sorry, we got questions pouring in.
Oh my.
Well, hold on, Tracy. Yes, she's agreeing with you on that. Red flags.
Yeah.
Sabrina, shout out. Somebody love the big fellas out here. And Kanisha is saying, I'm a plus size transgender woman and I'm body conscious a little bit, but what should I do to be more appealing to men so they date me instead of having sex on the first night?
Okay, got to think about this. Okay, so if you feel like you're having sex right away and you don't want to do that, I think that may be a bit of communicating your intentions and also figuring out what that man's intentions are too. Because maybe, if you know that before the date, if you're like, oh, he just wants to have sex, then you can say, okay, that's not what I want, and not go out with him. I think I'm kind of answering your question. But, really making sure the person's intentions are what you're looking for. And I don't think there's anything wrong with asking that on the dating app over text before you meet the person. Mm-hmm. And you can start with your own vulnerability and say, hey, I'm looking for something more serious. I'd love to get to know you. Does that align with what you're looking for? Just to kind of see, okay, is this going to be a waste of my time? And are we just going to have sex on the first date? If you don't want that.
For sure. Yeah, that's definitely an introductory, like, what are your goals? What are you
Yes.
here for? You know,
What are your
what's the end of the
goals?
line? Like, but I've always been very serious. Like, yo, we're gonna meet up in real life. I'm not doing this. I don't want a pen pal. I'm not doing this shit for fun. I'm doing this shit to actually meet up with you and go out on a fucking date. And like, I cut off communication after a week. If after a week you can't figure out if you want to go on a date with me, I'm out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh, I agree.
And a week is patient if I like you.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a few days for me because again, I'm not here for a pen pal. I'm about the business, and I can't stay chatting with somebody I'm never gonna meet. Like, no, quit.
Pass.
Or at the very least, video chat. Like, do something. It can't just be texting and dating at DMs all day.
I would definitely recommend phone call or video chat before you ever meet up with someone in real life from online. Please do that.
Okay.
That's a good thing that's come out of the pandemic. It's much more normal now to ask for that before you meet up with someone.
Yeah, that would have stopped me from being catfish in Denver a couple times. That's for sure. And one time in Atlanta. So, Rena, for me, there's an ideal look, but it's not negotiable. What's inside counts just as much, though. So, one of your clients who would not be willing to budge on the look thing. So,
hey, that's
how do we as trans women elevate what men that are attracted to us to a level above porn and the sex industry, which at this point includes dating apps? That's another big part, a big headache with dating apps with men who are looking for trans women is all of the sex workers on there soliciting. And it's like, yo, I came on here to find somebody to be with, not to be your fucking client. Like, I didn't come on here to be solicited by a prostitute. Sorry. If I wanted that, there are ads. I know, like, guys know where to find the ads. We can go find ads. Like, if you want that, you will seek it out. But if you're on these dating apps, you don't want to be solicited. And like, we had 2 women on here that were making a dating app. It's called the Jewel dating app. And one of the guys asked the question was like, well, will you be able to like filter out women that are on there, like just to find clients? Like, pretty much, are you able to filter out sex workers? And it was pretty much a no, because I mean, that is a lot of work and it's laborious. But like, an issue that a lot of guys find is like, oh yeah, we're talking and talking. Then you drop the hammer. Oh, you want to sell me a cam show? Oh, you want to sell me your rates are what? I didn't think I was talking to somebody for prostitution. Like, well, and it's just the whole thing.
As a way to like elevate yourself kind of away from that too is, you know, in your profile specifically say, you know, there's always like a prompt, no matter what app you're on, I'm looking for, or, you know, put in there, I am looking for, so, you know, something in there like my person, my partner, you know, someone to make me laugh and go on dates with, you know, whatever it is, put that in there because that will automatically elevate you above all the bots, the people that are just looking for casual stuff right away.
Oh yeah, I put it in all caps, not your next client. I made it very clear.
I recommend being that aggressive. But
no, be straight. Be honest. I am not here for that. So do not come to me with these. And guess what? Didn't happen after that. So I haven't had those issues for a while. It's been over a year.
Okay.
It's been over a year since I've had those issues. All caps, not your next client. and you know what? To the girls that are actually looking for relationships, it signals to them, oh, he's looking for something different. Oh, he ain't here just for that. He's actually trying to date on this site. Damn. Somebody taking this shit seriously? I don't know. I'm just saying the results have changed for me when I just made it clear in the way that, you know, a lot of trans women put in their dating app profiles, I am trans. Like, there's just things that you need to know about me up front. I'm not into that. But I'm sorry, I just answered the question and they were asking you.
Hey, it's okay. We're here to answer these questions together. I will say that we may need to wrap this up soon. We're getting close to my bedtime, Chris.
Ma'am, it is 9 p.m. and you are under 40. Let's not play these games.
I've been staring at my computer for 10 hours.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, no breaks. All right, facts.
Hey,
Okay. I don't know. I find all types sexy. Cool. This is about to be Kevin Samuels, hilarious. Even though while Kevin Samuels does have a problem with black women, and that is just, you listen to his shit, he has a problem with black women, but some of the shit he says is kind of on point. So it ain't all bad. I take it for what it is. I don't take everything he says as the gospel, but some of the points he makes make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least they hit home for me and a lot of other guys, but yeah, I got catfished.
I love
about that porn thing, like, men, the problem, like something that you may not be aware of, is a lot of guys who come into this space and start trying to date trans women. They start off with like they start off as either sex work clients or they start off as people who enjoy trans porn. So then a lot of times they go into this dating community, start trying to date, your everyday woman, thinking that she looks like the porn star, that she looks like that $500 an hour girl or whatever, like the chick that they was paying for. And obviously that's not realistic. Just in trans and the cis world, in all worlds, it would be ridiculous of a man to expect women to look like your guys. Here's the door, because not all women are going to look like the fucking Baywatch girls or whatever. I know I'm old. I know.
And not all men are going to be 6 feet tall. So,
I mean, they call it average for a reason. That means most people are that height. Like,
no, average is 5'9".
Yes. So that means the average man is under 6 feet. Average.
Exactly.
So what's wrong with average? Why do you have to have above, like, in that one department?
Yeah. I don't know. I blame movies and all of our unrealistic.
I blame social media.
That too.
But as a social media expert, consume more social media now. Elizabeth, I'm not a sex worker, but I have been offered money because guys expect every girl. Well, there are some men that have been conditioned to engage with some women in that way, but and the ladies need to be honest. But if that is what he is looking for, I believe sex work is real work. We didn't dispute that at all. But most men still have the ideology that we just want sex, and that's not the case. And that is absolutely not the case. A lot of these women want relationships and all that stuff. So yes, but it is not this podcast. The thoughts and opinions of this podcast is that sex work is actual work. So nobody is saying that it ain't. Just want to be clear before anybody runs with any, well, Chris said, nope, didn't do that. Didn't do it. Abby, do you find that men tend to keep options open when women try to pull all their eggs in one basket, so to speak?
It's definitely, I see both. But more often I see that men will, be dating a few women at once, whereas women may say, like, I'll focus on this one guy. But I tell everybody, there's no harm in dating multiple people, feeling it out, seeing who you like, and then deciding who you want to be exclusive with, if anyone. So nothing wrong with that at all. And I would say it's better, actually, to not put all your eggs in one basket in the beginning. Because then, you can compare. You can say, oh, well, this person was this way and I like this, but I don't like that. This person was this way. I like these things and I don't like that. It is hard when you're dating a ton of people at once because you're going to get overwhelmed. So maybe keep it to a few at one time.
A manageable amount.
A manageable amount. I've been there. I was dating way too many men at once and I couldn't even keep them straight. So
there you go. Nah, don't need all that. Pornography is ubiquitous, not just trans women dating apps, but in Los Angeles and other places, cis women use IG to provide paid sexual services. It's becoming more common. Well, really, look, it's a business. It's a business. And if your business is reaching as many people as possible with the product that you're trying to offer, you're going to use it. And social media is a way to do that. Why do you think I'm on social media? I'm trying to reach as many people as possible. It's
you just have to do it. It's just another business. And if you don't want it, just don't use it.
It's smart. It's smart business. It is. It's smart business. Well, we're not going to go that average height. How do you? All right. How do we keep? All right, we're going to wrap soon. I got you. How do we keep a happy relationship going, Abby? See, Cookie Mio and Michaela, they're married. So like, she come with the married questions. With this is we just talking about the upfront dating stuff. I'm not a relationship expert.
And I would say I am also not a relationship expert, but I'm learning as I go. So I can definitely give advice as I'm in a relationship myself. And I try to help people be successful in their own relationships too. And yet a lot of people do get into relationships and can't maintain them. I think people don't necessarily have the tools to do it, because you might get into a relationship and then you're like, oh shit, I never worked on myself. I actually don't know how to be in a relationship because all I saw was like my parents and they were messed up. And that's the only example of a relationship that I have. And I was actually having this conversation earlier today with someone on a podcast of when you get into a relationship, going to couples therapy together, not when shit hits the fan, but when you're initially together, maybe 6 months, a year in, and then you can develop some really great skills so that you hopefully don't hit that oh shit moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we got one last thing.
One last thing, what is it?
We're on the last thing. I know. We're racing to the end here. But it's a secret everyone needs to know about dating. What is that? What's that thing that people need to know?
Chris, I forgot my secret. I should have written it down.
You did? Oh, what? I thought you had them written down.
Oh my God, I wrote down everything else. You know what I will say? Oh, here's the secret. Okay. It's not really a secret, but I think it's a really important thing for people who are single to know and embrace your singledom or your singleness. And the moment that you do that you're content with yourself, with your independence, with being on your own, then you're going to immediately attract people who are more ready and prepared to be in a relationship. So, if that's something you want to work on, I do have some amazing dating coaches that do just that, and we'll be happy to refer you guys as well. So I think embrace being single and, just ride the wave. Be open to connections, be open to meeting new people, and just follow the paths and see where it goes, as long as people are listening to your boundaries and your needs and wants. Keep riding the wave.
Mm-hmm. Now I have a question. Do you believe, or do you think there's a difference between being content with being single and being used to being single?
Yes, I definitely think there's a difference. Mm-hmm. Because being used to it, you might still feel a little uncomfortable in it. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not saying anyone is totally like, yes, I'm 100% good being single. There are people like that. But we all crave companionship and human connection. We discovered that when it was taken away from us last year. So, I'm not expecting you to say, yes, I'm content alone. I don't need anyone. I don't need human touch. I don't need human interaction. We all need that and crave it. Mm-hmm. So I think there definitely is a difference between being used to it, where you've just kind of like resigned to it almost, mm-hmm. versus being content in it and saying, I'm okay with this.
I never believe any of the very vocal, loud people that say, well, I'm okay with being single. Like, I'm happy being single. I'm like, in your heart of hearts, you're lonely as fuck and you would be happy to have somebody in your life. But it's like all this loudness, this like you're putting up a front. You're mm-hmm. like, I love my singleness. I'm doing me. Everybody, I'm this. I'm like, you're literally telling me that you're not happy being single by making a big deal out of you being happy being single. Like announcing it to the world.
A lot of cases of that where you're kind of like overcompensating. You're like, let me let everyone, know that I'm this way. And, coming from I am someone who's like always been in a relationship. I honestly suck at being single. So, it's hard to take this advice. It would be hard for me if I am ever single again, which hopefully that doesn't happen. But it definitely is taking a look inside and being like, okay, this is me. I'm cool with me. I accept me for me, my good things, my flaws. But yeah, I know someone was saying they love being in a relationship. Nothing wrong with that. That's
Who
a good
that?
thing.
Who talking like that on my show? No. Oh no, that's Trail. No. Yeah, no, Trail loves it. Yeah, he was, he's the man. He's a regular on the show. So
I was gonna say, I feel like I recognize the name. I think I've seen
yeah.
the episode.
So that is all the questions I got for today. Everybody, we got 2 hours with a professional matchmaker. You should have got some answers, some insights, something here. Should have something to take away from this, y'all.
I hope
Even
so.
if it's just that Chris is an idiot, at least you got something. Okay. That's something. That's not nothing. So we still gave you something.
Yay.
So tell everybody where they can find you. Put where do you want people to contact you? On email or on social media?
I would say,
handles?
honestly, the best way is to text me. I know this is kind of crazy that I'm giving my phone number out, but that's what I respond to most quickly.
Okay. What's the number?
So it's 303-842-4762. And you can text me there and say, hey, I heard you on Chris's podcast. I would love to learn more about matchmaking, this, that, and the other thing. We'll set up a time to chat. Text me. Yay. Let's just blast my phone number out to the world.
You just did it.
I know. I do it all the time. Every podcast I'm on, I'm just always like, I have no boundaries. Here's my phone number. I usually don't respond super late at night or on Saturdays, but otherwise I'll get back to you. And I would love
patient. Do not get on this woman's phone upset that she didn't get back to you in an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
Give her a 24 to 48 hour return message period. Okay. Do not blow up this woman's phone.
Yeah, practice some patience. I promise I won't ghost you. That is my number one rule. So I will never ghost you. But I would love to, chat with you about how I could matchmake you or connect you with a matchmaker in your area or a dating coach or just learn about you as a human. I love meeting new people. So send me a text. And you can also follow me on Instagram. My handle is Modern Yenta, YENTA. And my company is The Social MM, as in modern matchmaking. And then my website is thesocialmm.club, which actually will soon be modernmatchmaking.club. So both will work.
Modern Matchmaking Club?
.club. Yes.
Oh,
I know. .com was like 10 grand for the year. I wasn't buying that.
It's modernmatchmaking.club. Here we go.
Yay. Perfect.
Modern Matchmaking Club. There you go.
Yes.
So check that website out, y'all. You all have the information you need to get a hold of Abby. Also, the information will be added to the YouTube version of this. So go to the YouTube page. The information will be in the description of this video shortly after we get done streaming here. So you will have all the ways to contact Abby. And as always, everyone, please, please, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow us on Twitter at MenLikeUsPod. Follow me on Clubhouse. On Clubhouse at MLU Chris and at Big Chris TX. But we really need to get these YouTube numbers up. Please like these videos on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. I need everyone's help. Share this Facebook Live out. I need all of your help as much as possible to spread this brand out to everywhere and spread this video out. It was some really dope stuff. So, help Abby, help me.
Yay.
We need it. We need the awareness, y'all. So that's Chris begging on his knees for y'all to help me spread this shit out. So, what's the next show? We most likely will not have a Friday night show. Sadly, everyone. My cousin is getting married on Friday. So I'm in the wedding. He's getting married. And when the show was supposed to be happening, I'm going to be at the reception. So I'm in the wedding. Always the groomsman, never the groom. So Yep. So sorry, no show on Friday, but we have some really dope stuff scheduled. We got a lot of things scheduled in the coming weeks. We're bringing back adult film actress Ryder Monroe. She's coming back for another Star Trek talk, which will be dope. I'm doing a talk with my friend Joelle, who recently had me featured on the platform of the nonprofit, the LGBT nonprofit, the Mahogany Project. So if you guys haven't checked out the video from the Mahogany Project, it's on their Facebook page. It's a really dope conversation. And it was very insightful, but we have a lot of really great stuff coming up, a lot of interviews coming up. So stay tuned. We'll be back at this again next week with the Nerd Chat on Tuesday, and then we'll have a regular show that following Friday. So until next week, y'all. I know it's a lot of stuff going on. We're kicking it up. We have been around for 1 year now, and it is time to do more than just once a week. So
congrats. That's awesome.
Gotta kick this thing up a notch. So thank you, Abby, so much for taking out the time. I appreciate you letting me monopolize your night, but it was fun hanging out with you once again. I miss you.
I miss you. Can we hang out soon? Not on a podcast, just in real life.
When I get back to Denver, yes, it is going down. And you know where we're going.
Temple?
Yes. I'm going back to Temple.
The old stomping ground.
Yes. I love that club. It's I know folks think it's weird, but until you work at a bar or a club, you just don't understand like how some of those places kind of find a place in everyone's heart that like work there. Like it's weird, but that place has that club has a special place in my heart. And I worked there for like a year and a half. So
well, we'll make your return. It'll be great.
We know, but yeah. All right, y'all. Have a good night.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
For sure.